And we are live. We want to thank everyone for joining us this morning on a rainy morning here in West Virginia. We are excited to be announcing the launch of the West Virginia New Jobs Coalition. We've got several folks here joining us today that are going to speak on that and many other things. My name is Ryan Frankenberry. I am the state director of the West Virginia Working Families Party. And we want to start by actually showing you the West Virginia New Jobs website. So newjobswv.org. And I'm going to highlight that right now with a screen share. And show you what the our New Jobs Coalition, where we're going to stand up all of our information and our actions on newjobswv.org. You can also text WV Jobs to 30403. And we're excited about this. So to get us started off, we would like to welcome a few of our coalition members. And to start it off, we're going to kick it over to Sherry McKinney, who is from SEIU 1199, representing lots of workers in West Virginia.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here and a part of this coalition. I'm Sherry McKinney. I'm the organizing director with SEIU District 1199 and part of the Service Employees International Union. We're glad to be a part of this coalition and from a national level, and then joining forces in the state so that we can make a difference for West Virginia working families. We represent care workers in this state, primarily healthcare workers, nursing home workers, hospital workers, MRDD workers, and care jobs are important to us. People think that if you worked in healthcare during this pandemic, you were probably safe and you were able to keep a job, but it couldn't have been further from the truth. There were lots of jobs that were absolutely cut and eliminated from healthcare providers during the pandemic. And we want to be part of building back a West Virginia that includes care jobs, that includes that our nursing homes are properly staffed, that our nursing homes get the staffing that they need. And that's why this is so important for us and why we want to work together across the state with this coalition to make sure that we're not excluding and that we absolutely make sure that care jobs are on the forefront in West Virginia.
Thank you, Sherry. Next up, we're going to bring Eric Engel, who is the co-chair of the West Virginia Sierra Club, and he's also the membership coordinator and steward of the National Treasury Employees Union. Eric?
Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning. As Ryan said, I'm with the Sierra Club of West Virginia, and I'm also a union organizer and steward for a public sector union called the National Treasury Employees Union. It's absolutely crucial, and I know that Sierra Club feels this way, and I know that NTU would feel this way, that when we talk about renewable energy jobs, sustainability, energy efficiency, the economy of the future that recognizes the climate crisis, that recognizes massive wealth and income inequality, that recognizes systemic racism, that we address these issues as a whole and that we don't silo these issues off. We need good paying jobs, preferably union jobs with collective bargaining, to move this forward. And we need to be able to offer that to West Virginians and Central Appalachians, including in Southeast Ohio, close to where I live, as an alternative for the future, because fossil fuels jobs have offered them some pretty good livings in the past, but only because, as we know, fossil fuels, we haven't accounted for the full cost of those on society, and they've received a lot of direct subsidies and help from the government. So they've been able to do things sort of artificially. So we need a promising future for all of Central Appalachia, especially when it comes to organized labor and the economy. And that's what we're hoping to promise and deliver on by sponsoring and supporting these initiatives like the Thrive Agenda. Thanks so much for having me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Eric, and thanks for those words. And also, thank you for all of your great work getting into the newspapers and making sure that people are focused on the issues. Eric is an amazing writer.
Thank you.
Yeah. So with the New Jobs Coalition, the big thing that we want to announce today is that we have a national and a state level jobs report called the Thrive Jobs Report. And I'm going to kick it over to Gary Zuckett, the executive director of the West Virginia Citizens Action Group, to talk a little bit about how this report came about and some of the big numbers.
Thank you, Ryan. Glad to be here today to help unveil the job creation estimates for West Virginia through the U.S. Thrive Agenda. This is a report that was put together for us by the Perry Group, the Political Economy Research Institute at the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. And this report represents estimates of the job creation that will result in West Virginia if the U.S. Congress passes the economic recovery legislation that is implemented through the Thrive Agenda. And Thrive means transform, heal, and renew by investing in a vibrant economy. The overall finding report here is that implementing this 10-year Thrive Agenda in West Virginia would generate about 50,000 jobs in just the first full year of the program. This higher level of employment in West Virginia would be sustained through the 10 years of the investment, assuming no other major changes in West Virginia economy was to occur. Thus, if the Thrive program were implemented in full, employment in West Virginia would increase by 50,000 jobs, and that higher level of increased employment will continue in the state as the 10-year program continues through 2030. The congressional resolution's commitment to transform, heal, and renew by investing in a vibrant economy through a range of investments, the Thrive Agenda has been endorsed by more than 100 members of Congress, including Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and hundreds of major union, racial justice, and climate organizations. The aims of the Thrive Agenda are similar to those proposed and going to be unveiled actually later today by President Biden up in Pittsburgh. This resolution supports President Biden's efforts and goes beyond to build back even better. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it back over to Ryan to dig a little deeper into the numbers.
Thank you, Gary. And you know, before I get into the numbers for West Virginia, this coalition is a coalition of national organizations, state organizations, and local organizations and individuals. And I would like to bring in front of us right now, might be putting her on the spot, but I'd like to recognize Jean Ambrose of the Mid-Ohio Valley Climate Action to talk about the work that they're doing and the support for the Thrive Act. Jean, are you able to talk?
Yes, I sure am, Brian. Thank you so much. I think in this coalition, we see ourselves as representing the community and the voices that are usually not at the table when development decisions are made. We are launching a new jobs committee today as part of our overall climate action work. We feel as though there is a pretty broad consensus that climate change is real, and we want to really talk about the solutions for all so that our community can thrive. And we think that we are also a cross-border organization in West Virginia and Ohio, which many of our communities are. And we want to get together parts of our community that don't usually talk to each other and get consulted when decisions are made. So we're a frontline community along the Ohio River Valley, and we really want to get out of that boom and bust economic pattern that has plagued this region over so many decades. A work on jobs that are renewable and sustainable for the long haul will be the basis of a community that is thriving, prosperous, and healthy for all its members.
Thank you so much, Jean. So now we're going to jump into the actual numbers here, and I'm going to share my screen. The Thrive Jobs Report for West Virginia shows us that we have the potential for 50,000 new jobs in West Virginia. That's annual jobs. That's not over 10 years. That's annual new job creation. And that is forecast to happen for 10 years. So we could have 50,000 new jobs with a total of about $5.2 billion of financial impact. So I'm going to get wonky and show the tables here. You can see that you can find our report on our website, newjobswv.org. You can also get quick links to everything by texting WV Jobs to 30403. And I'm going to go through a couple tables real quick just to show folks the types of jobs, the types of financial impact that can be happening here in West Virginia around the Thrive Act. So in infrastructure, which we know that the president is going to make a big announcement tonight or this afternoon in Pittsburgh, and we're excited to hear about that. We have 8,900 potential jobs in surface transportation. And we all know how bad West Virginia roads are, despite the promises that some politicians have made. We've got 1,400 jobs in water and wastewater, another crucial issue happening in West Virginia with our streams and rivers. You can go on down through, I'll skip through a couple of them, but you see, public parks and recreation, rail jobs, 2,600 jobs in schools and improving our schools, 400 jobs in leak repairs for gas distribution pipelines. We've got to make sure that we are, taking care of the infrastructure that they have put in the ground. 500 new jobs for broadband. That's 16,000 new jobs that could come to West Virginia just in infrastructure investments based on the Thrive Act. The Thrive Act is going to be introduced when Congress comes back from this spring recess. Spring recess is happening right now through April 11th. And again, we want you to text WV Jobs to 30403 so that you can send a letter or make a phone call to Senators Manchin and Capito to encourage them to support the Thrive Act, sponsor the Thrive Act, and pass the Thrive Act. Jumping down into our next category of new jobs, agriculture and land restoration investments. Jump to this table here. You can see here in regenerative agriculture, we could see potentially 7,600 new jobs, 1,600 in farmland conservation, and 9,600 jobs in resources for marginalized farmers. A total in the agriculture and land restoration investments of 20,360 new jobs for West Virginia workers. And then we get to the care economy and public health. We can see that in the care economy, which Sherry, our friend from SEIU, spoke so much about, 6,800 new good paying jobs, union jobs in the care economy. Those are people that are caring for our elderly, our sick, our young. These are incredibly important jobs for West Virginia. 200 in public health. And you can also see that this would create 90 new jobs just for our postal service, which so many West Virginians rely on to make sure that they're getting their medicine, food, and support. So that's 70,000 jobs. And I think actually I might have skipped one here. Apologies for this. Let me jump up to this one. This is a huge one too for us. Energy efficiency and clean renewable energy investments. Building retrofits, 2,400 new West Virginia jobs. Renewable energy, we could see 1,200 new jobs in wind energy, 1,600 new jobs in solar energy, and geothermal, which is barely been tapped yet in West Virginia, but we know that we are a geothermal hotspot, could potentially produce 1,000 new jobs. These are good union jobs that we need to have. So this report, again, is available on our new website, newjobswv.org. and you can find it right there on the website. You can also get a quick link sent to your cell phone right now, WV Jobs to 30403. So how are we going to talk about these new jobs? We are about to launch into a massive campaign to talk to grassroots constituents, to talk to public leaders, community leaders, faith leaders, and we're also going to go out and do big public events. So I'm going to kick it over to our good friend Alex and talk about the days of action and our big jamming for jobs.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. My name is Alex Gallo. I use she, her pronouns. I'm here in Charleston, West Virginia. I am the organizing director for the West Virginia Working Families and Citizen Action. We are so excited to share some of the events that we have coming up over the next couple days. But first, I just want to get grounded in why it is that we're doing what we're doing. For far too long, West Virginians have been in survival mode, right? We have worked really hard. Many folks in West Virginia have worked hard to fuel our other parts of our country. And at this stage of the game, we have little to show for it in terms of resources, water quality, and quality of life. And we're excited to move into a new world, a world that is thriving, one that is transformed, healed, renewed by investing in a vibrant economy. That is not just a feel-good acronym, that is a piece of legislation that can do real things for real families. And we're excited to bring music and art and culture into this space as we continue to amplify this message and encourage our Senator Joe Manchin and Shelley Moore Capito to support, encourage, and pass the Thrive Act. We'll be kicking off with 10 days of action. You can text WV Jobs to 30403 to get linked up real easy on some actions that might resonate with you, whether it's signing a resolution to Senator Manchin, or writing a letter to Manchin, making a call to Capito. It's important that we are driving energy to our legislators around this issue, but also talking to each other about the opportunities that the Thrive Act can have in our communities. For us, this coalition has been a direct reflection of the kind of results that the Thrive Act could potentially unleash should we invest in the Thrive Act. So I say that because as we came together with this opportunity to release the coalition, folks from all over the state were involved in putting together the website and getting folks involved in social media. And it's been a project, a passion project for a lot of folks. The biggest one being Jammin' for Jobs. This is going to be held on April the 10th. Saturday, April the 10th, we'll be going live in 3 locations: Charleston, Morgantown, Martinsburg, bringing music, art, culture into the space to amplify the Thrive Act. You can tune in live by texting WV Jobs to 30403. You can attend in person if you're feeling that that's best for you. These events will be socially distanced and COVID safe. As we lead up to Jammin' for Jobs, we are excited and proud to host Mutual Aid Monday, which will fall on March the 5th. This event is one that's grounded in highlighting the great work that folks all around the state are doing to meet the basic needs of folks that are currently just trying to survive. So I'm going to kick it over to Zach Shrewsbury with Appalachians People's Front to talk a little bit more about Mutual Aid Monday. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Alex, thank you. So Mutual Aid Monday is going to be a statewide event on April 5th. all sorts of different organizations coming together, movements, united by mutual aid. There's been, like, for Appalachian People's Front, for example, has been on the ground since early November. We're giving clean water to Minden, feeding the homeless in Beckley, Buchanan, and Fairmont. And there's all sorts of different groups that we work with as well. There's groups in Huntington, there's groups also in Buchanan, all across the state. But we've all been separated, but we're all had the same goal in mind. And there's also other organizations that need help to get started as well. That's where Mutual Aid Mondays comes in. It is that unifier. We can all come together and communicate, share volunteers, et cetera, and we can actually engage these communities, meet these communities' needs, and then empower them and have their voices be heard. We're not here to speak for these communities. We're here to help them get their voices out to where our representatives can't hear them. That's all I got.
Thanks, Zach. Yeah, this has been a beautiful display of communities coming together to work together and meet basic needs. There are communities, as we know, across our state that are dealing with food injustices, food insecurities, water and infrastructure issues. And mutual aid is essentially an opportunity for us to not only highlight these injustices, but also uplift the power of what happens when folks come together to meet each other's basic needs. And really grateful to Zach and the folks at Appalachian People's Front for the on-the-ground work that they've been doing to connect with folks in our most vulnerable communities. As we transition from Mutual Aid Monday on April the 5th, we'll be hosting a jobs fair on April the 7th at a More Excellent Way Church. Should you have an interest in getting a headshot, or you need resume support, or you're just interested in job opportunities, encourage you to check out the jobs fair on April the 7th. Lots of exciting things happening. This entire project has been a team effort, one that has brought hundreds of folks together from across the state to share their talents, their gifts, and build something that is bold and bright and beautiful. And all we're asking is that our Senator Capito and Senator Manchin support, encourage, and pass the Thrive Act. You can text WV Jobs to 30403 to learn more and get involved and take direct action starting today. Thanks, everyone. Pass it back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Alex. One of the things that we're incredibly excited about is some of the partnerships that have gone into building Jammin' for Jobs. We have local producers on the ground helping set all of this up. We have local artists and creators that are helping us in each of the 3 areas of the state that we're able to do this live, as well as our online content that's going to be simulcast from all 3 venues on Saturday, April 10th. And one of the most exciting ones that we had was we were able to partner up with local businesses here in Charleston, Kinship Goods and Basecamp Printing. And unfortunately, neither of them were able to join us today because they're getting their COVID vaccines today. So we did want to share a brief video with our friends from Basecamp, who have designed and printed these amazing collector posters for Jammin' for Jobs. So if you'll indulge me, I'm going to share my screen and we'll watch this.
Betsy and Emily Sokolowski with Basecamp Printing here in Charleston. We're so grateful for the partnership with you all and Kinship, your neighbor, as we get ready to unveil Jammin' for Jobs on April 10th. Really excited to have you all with us. Can you share a little bit about the design process with the poster and what this event means to you all and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, when we were approached with this project, we were super excited and jumped at the chance to help out with something like Jammin' for Jobs. It's really, at the core of what we want our business to be and what we want our work to reflect. Celebrating and lifting up other West Virginians, taking what we have at hand and using it to help others. So we were really excited to get the chance to work on this and to collaborate with other people, with other designers, working with Kinship Goods as they did the shirt design, and then we worked on the poster and created a cohesive message to get all this information out to people. So, and you really took the reins on the design.
Yeah, I think, this is a community effort and there's so many people involved in this. And so I wanted the design to reflect that, especially working with Kinship closely. We were able to send designs back and forth and bounce off on each, the ideas. And so the poster is just a classic, event show poster, old school, just trying to get people to come to see it,
Yeah, really, everyone trying to show that this event is not, it's for everyone, for the working class, to be approachable, to say, hey, this is for you, come to this, come join, this is it has to be a movement that's for everyone if it's going to work. So yeah,
absolutely. And if we could talk a little bit about incorporating the colors of the people's flag that will be featured in all three of these events, incorporating those colors into the poster, I thought that was just an excellent example of collaboration and bringing other folks into this project. And we're so grateful for the opportunity to have worked with you all on this. And if you're in Charleston, check out Base Camp after June when they'll be reopening. But you can always check out what they're doing on Instagram, Facebook, or on their website. So thank you, Betsy and Emily.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So that is just one exciting example of the things we are doing to really promote the Thrive Act and the people of West Virginia and 50,000 new jobs. We also have some incredible t-shirts. Alex, I think, go ahead and speak. I'll see if I can pin you, but we have some amazing t-shirts.
Yeah, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the design around this t-shirt. This is the final iteration, but it went through quite a birthing process to get here. There's lots of elements of this shirt that we're really excited to uplift, like solar panels and planting trees and jamming and music. And there's a lot of intentionality and thought that went into this design process. And we're so excited to have worked with Dan Davis at Kinship Goods on this design, and his team at Kinship Goods has been so incredible in supporting this work. And they too are getting COVID shots as well today and aren't able to attend. But should you have an interest in wanting a shirt, perhaps, make sure you text text WV Jobs to 30403, and maybe you will get this lovely shirt from Kinship Goods. Thanks, Ryan.
Excellent plug. That's right. So text WV Jobs to 30403, and you might have an opportunity to get one of these amazing shirts or one of the amazing posters. So make sure you text WV Jobs to 30403. As we start to wrap this up, I want to just say this coalition is just in the beginning. We will be growing and growing and growing. We welcome all who want to bring new jobs to West Virginia and that want to uplift their communities. So again, there's excellent. Keep that poster going. You can see more information. We've got amazing artists that are going to be playing these concerts on Saturday. The work that's going into the Mutual Aid Monday is incredible. So many volunteers and so many organizers doing really good work to help our fellow West Virginians. But I want to say that, you know, today is what we're calling the National Day of Action for Thrive. And this is a national thing. And Jammin' for Jobs is a national thing now that started right here in West Virginia as we were kicking around ideas for how to incorporate our culture here in the Mountain State and get people energized about the fact that despite the fact that we've had such a year with the pandemic and we're experiencing things with our state legislature that are not positive, there are bright things on the horizon if we can get our federal officials to support things like the Thrive Act, 50,000 new jobs. It's possible. It's right there. So with that being said, I want to share a special recording by the artist Valerie June, who recorded one of her songs, Working Woman Blues, specifically for Jammin' for Jobs and the Recovery Recess. So I'm going to play that right now as we start to wrap this up.
Well, hey, I'm Valerie June, and this is Working Woman Blues for Jammin' for Jobs. Working Woman Blues is for all the hardworking people, the working class, jamming for jobs. I want to call out Tiana Esperanza, who's one of my favorite young musicians, as well as Jackie Vincent, who is an amazing electric guitar player. She's also a young woman, and I want to ask them if they will also record a labor song. For the working class, I'm wearing my blue sweater today, just in honor of them, in honor of us.
Wow.
So we'll wrap this up. We're going to end the live stream now. And if there's any media that wants to ask questions, we'll do that. Let me stop the live stream. One last time, text WV Jobs to 30403. You can take action. You can contact your senators. You can do it with phone calls or with letters. You can also sign up for events. We've got all of these mutual aid events posted online and all of our concerts, both live and virtual. We're still adding in these next 10 days of action. We're adding actions to talk about wages and tipped workers. We're talking about democracy and voting rights. We're talking about lots of things. So please make sure you visit our new website. You can also find us on Facebook, and we will catch you soon. Look for our advertisements.